Good evening, student. This is the last session in pharmacokinetic in which we will discuss elimination of drugs. In the previous session, we have discussed absorption of drugs, distribution, and metabolism or biotransformation of drug. Through the process of absorption, the drug enters in blood circulation, followed by distribution, through which it enters in target tissues and shows its action. Now the drug is no longer required and needs to be eliminated out of the body. So by the process of biotransformation or metabolism, it is made elimination friendly. And elimination or excretion is the last step in the pharmacokinetic. The major route of elimination of drug is renal, kidney, through which it is eliminated in urine. Other routes of elimination of drugs are biliary route, fecal, and alveolar route. By exhalation, gaseous general anesthetic agent and alcohol are eliminated. Other minor routes of elimination are through milk, skin, hair, sweat, and saliva. In this session, we will discuss renal excretion in detail. You know from your previous knowledge, renal excretion has three steps. First is glomerular filtration, second is active tubular reabsorption, and third one is passive tubular reabsorption. So net renal excretion is glomerular filtration plus tubular secretion minus tubular reabsorption. Glomerular filtration depends upon three different factors. First factor is molecular size. The drug which are having molecular weight less than 20,000 are easily filtered. Plasma protein binding is also important factor for glomerular filtration because the drug which are having more plasma protein bind have large molecular size and that cannot be filtered in nephron. For example, warfarin has 98% plasma protein binding and it is excreted, it is filtered only 2% in glomerular filtration. Third factor is renal blood flow. In clinical condition in which renal blood flow decreases, glomerular filtration is also decreased because of obvious reason. Second step of renal excretion is tubular reabsorption. But before starting tubular reabsorption, one important point to be discussed in glomerular filtration, it does not depend upon lipid solubility of drug. Whether the drug is lipid soluble or insoluble, it does not affect glomerular filtration. But lipid solubility decide tubular reabsorption. As we have discussed in the first session, absorption is affected by lipid solubility of the drug. Absorption of drug will depend upon ionization of the drug and the pH of surrounding media. The same three factors are repeated here in tubular reabsorption, which is also a type of absorption itself, because in it also the drug has to cross biological membrane. The drug which are lipid soluble are reabsorbed easily and their excretion in filtrate is less. The drug which are non-ionized are reabsorbed back. The drug which are ionized, it will not be reabsorbed and it will be eliminated from kidney. pH also decide the tubular reabsorption of drug, which will be discussed in next slide in detail. As we have discussed in absorption in the first session, if the drug is acidic and it has been given in toxic amount, in the high amount, so what will you do for treatment of this toxicity? You will make the urine alkaline. Why? Because in alkaline urine, the acidic drug will ionized. In alkaline urine, the acidic drug will be ionized and it will not be reabsorbed. When it will not be reabsorbed, it will be excreted out of the body in urine. So the toxicity of acidic drug will be treated. Similarly, in the toxicity of basic drug like morphine, you will make the urine acidic, because in acidic drug, alkaline drug will be ionized and it will not be reabsorbed. So in acidic drug poisoning, you will make the urine basic, and in basic drug poisoning, you will make the urine acidic drug. You will make the urine alkaline with sodium bicarbonate and sodium citrate, and you will make urine acidify with help of ascorbic acid and ammonium chloride. Keep remember, these are the concept for slightly acidic and slightly basic drug. But when the drug are strongly acidic or strongly basic, they will remain unionized at all pH range. Their ionization will not depend upon the pH of surrounding media. They will unionized at all pH, and hence they are not reabsorbed. They will remain ionized, and they are not reabsorbed, and thus they are excreted. Third step of urine formation is tubular secretion. It is an active process. So plasma protein binding is not a issue here because it is an active process. Acidic drugs like aspirin, like phenytoin, warfarin, they are secreted with organic acid transport through the protein of OATP. Basic drug like morphine, chloroquine, they are transported in urine through OCT molecule. Proben acid, it is a drug which inhibits secretion of penicillin. When penicillin secretion is inhibited, so it will not enter in urine, it will remain in body. So proben acid will make the penicillin longer acting. Thiazide drug, thiazide, it is a type of diuretic. It inhibits secretion of uric acid. So it inhibits secretion of uric acid. So uric acid will be accumulated in body. So thiazide causes hyperuricemia. Few of the drug undergoes biliary excretion like erythromycin and corticosteroid. Erythromycin is a type of antimicrobial agent. One important concept is about enterohepatic circulation. As the name suggests itself, it is a circulation of drug between intestine and liver. Enterohepatic. Entero is for intestine and hepatic is for liver. So circulation of drug between intestine and liver. The common drug which undergoes enterohepatic circulation is corticosteroid group of drugs. Corticosteroids are conjugated with glucuronide molecule in liver. And they are excreted in bile, and through bile duct they enter in duodenum, intestine, and in duodenum, in intestine, there are some bacteria which deconjugate glucuronide molecule from corticosteroids. So glucuronide is separated from corticosteroid, and this corticosteroid again enter in liver through portal circulation, where it is again glucuronidation occurs in liver. So the drug rotate, it circulate again and again between liver and intestine. This is enterohepatic circulation. Apart from corticosteroid, it is also significant with digitoxin and morphine. Digitoxin is a drug used in treatment of congestive heart failure, and morphine is an opioid drug. This enterohepatic circulation make the drug longer acting. What point is important about enterohepatic circulation is that if a person is having, if has consumed morphine at the higher dose and it is suffering from morphine poisoning, so it will be better for us to catch the drug until and unless the drug is in the stomach. Because suppose the drug has entered in the intestine, from intestine it will enter in the liver and then intestine, so it will circulate, it will rotate between liver and intestine and you cannot catch the drug when the drug has reached the intestine. So it will be better for us if we can catch the drug early when the drug remains in stomach only, because when it has been reached in intestine, it will go under circulation again and again between liver and intestine. Some of the drugs are excreted in breast, especially the slightly basic drug, because pH of breast milk is acidic. So a basic drug will undergo ionization in breast milk which are having acidic concentration. So slightly basic drug are excreted more through milk as compared to acidic drug. In the second part of elimination, we will discuss few of the important concept. First one is the clearance of a drug. The clearance or creatine clearance, it has been discussed last year in physiology classes, or I think in biochemistry also. We will discuss the concept of clearance in relation to drug. What is clearance of the drug? It is a theoretical volume of plasma from which the drug is completely removed in unit time. That means in per minute or per hour. How much volume of plasma has been cleared of the drug, it will be discussed in clearance. It can be calculated as clearance is equal to rate of elimination divided by plasma concentration. Unit of clearance is milliliter per minute, because as we have discussed, it is a volume of plasma removed in unit time. So in denominator we will put minute, or volume of plasma will be in milliliter in numerator. So clearance of a drug is rate of elimination divided by plasma concentration. Second important parameter is plasma half-life. You can equate the plasma half-life concept with half-life of radioactive molecule that has been discussed in physics in your standard 11th and 12th. In plasma half-life is a time duration in which the plasma concentration of drug falls by 50% of the earlier value. Suppose you have administered the drug 100 milligram and the drug is having plasma half-life 5 hours. That means after 5 hours the the drug will remain in body 50 milligram only. 50 milligram will be eliminated. This is plasma half-life. It can be calculated as 0.693 multiplied Vd by Cl. That means 0.693 multiplied by volume of distribution divided by clearance. And what is clearance? It is rate of elimination divided by plasma concentration. So these are the two important concepts. Now we will discuss the kinetics of drug elimination. It is of two types basically. First is first order kinetic and other type is zero order kinetic. Majority of the drug follows first order kinetic, while few of the drugs only handful of the drug follow the zero order kinetics. What is the literal meaning of first order kinetic? It means rate of elimination is directly proportional to the first order of plasma concentration of drug. First order of plasma concentration. While zero order kinetic means rate of elimination is directly proportional to zero order of plasma concentration. And if you can recollect your memory, if we put order 0 of any figure like 0 order of 4 means 1. If we put 0 order of any figure, any digit, that means 1. Here we are putting 0 order of plasma concentration, that means 1. So rate of elimination is directly proportional to 0 order of plasma concentration, that means 1. That means rate of elimination is independent, it is fixed, it is independent of the plasma concentration. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means in first order kinetic, rate of elimination is directly proportional to the plasma concentration of drug. If the plasma concentration of drug is increased, rate of elimination will also increase. But in zero order of kinetic, rate of elimination is independent of plasma concentration. That means it is fixed. It will not change with plasma concentration of drug. It is important in drug toxicity. For example, a patient has taken the drug in high dose of a drug which is following the zero order kinetic. What will happen here? He has taken the high dose of high dose of drug, so it will result in the high plasma concentration of drug. So the drug will be eliminated at a faster rate because the rate of elimination is directly proportional to the plasma concentration. Plasma concentration of drug has been increased, so rate of elimination will also increase, so toxicity will not occur in this case. But if the patient has taken a drug which is following zero order kinetic, what will happen? The patient has taken high amount of drug that is following the zero order kinetic. So the drug has increased, so plasma concentration also increased, but the rate of elimination will not increase. It will remain constant because in zero order kinetic, rate of elimination is independent of plasma concentration. It will not increase, it is fixed. So rate of elimination will not increase if you increase the dose of drug which is following zero order kinetic. So drug will remain accumulated in body. It will not increase. So toxicity may occur of these kind of drug. First order kinetic are the radioactive molecule. You have discussed the T half of the drug is constant in radioactive molecule. Similarly here, the plasma half-life of drugs following the first order kinetic will remain same. And in first order kinetic, the drug will be eliminated at a constant fraction of the drug at a constant interval of time. For example, if a drug has plasma T half of 5 hours and you have given 100 milligram of that drug. So in the first 5 hours, the 50 milligram of the drug will be eliminated. So the remaining drug that is present in body is other 50 milligram. In the next 5 hours, this remaining 50 milligram that is remained in the body, this 50% of this 50 milligram will be eliminated again. So in the first 5 hours, 50 milligram will be eliminated. In the next 5 hours, 25 milligram will be eliminated. So in the total 10 hours, total 75 milligram drug will be eliminated, and after 10 hours, 25 milligram of the drug will be remain in body. So you can see here in the first 5 hours 50 milligram of the drug is eliminated. After 5 hours 50 milligram is remain in body. So of the 50% of this 50 milligram will be eliminated. So you can see a plasma concentration is reduced in body, that has been reduced from 100 milligram to 50 milligram. So rate of elimination also decreased. Plasma concentration is reduced of the drug from 100 milligram to 50 milligram. So rate of elimination is directly proportional to plasma concentration. So now 25 milligram will be eliminated out of the body. But in zero order kinetic, not constant fraction is eliminated, constant amount of drug is eliminated. Okay. Now we will discuss about clearance. Formula of clearance is rate of elimination divided by plasma concentration. In first order of kinetic, rate of elimination will directly proportional to plasma concentration. So rate of elimination will increase as with plasma concentration. So clearance is constant with increasing concentration. But what will happen in zero order kinetic? In zero order kinetic, rate of elimination is independent of plasma concentration. So when the plasma concentration is increased, clearance will be reduced, because denominator will increase, numerator will fix. So clearance will decreases with increase in concentration. T half is constant in first order kinetic. While it is never constant, the T half will increase with the increasing dose. Most of the drug follow first order kinetic, while alcohol follow the zero order kinetic. The third type of kinetics is also there, that is mixed order kinetic. Few of the drug follows it. In smaller dose, it is dose dependent kinetic. In smaller dose, they follow first order kinetic. But when these drugs are given at the higher dose, their metabolizing enzymes have been saturated, so their rate of elimination does not increase with increasing concentration. It remains constant at the higher dose. It is fixed. Rate of elimination remain fixed at the higher dose because they follow zero order kinetics. Few of the drugs follow the mixed order kinetic, like phenytoin and warfarin. Phenytoin is the anti-epileptic drug, while warfarin is the oral anticoagulant drug. We have discussed phenytoin and warfarin together at several places in pharmacokinetic. Phenytoin and warfarin both are acidic drug, both are high plasma protein binding, both have low volume of distribution, both are metabolized by CYP2C8 and 2C9 molecule, and both have zero order kinetic at higher dose. So the drug follow the zero order kinetic at higher dose. They are the dangerous drug, because when the patient these drug by mistake at the higher dose, their elimination will not increase with their rate of elimination will not increase with the higher dose. They will remain accumulate in body and cause toxicity. So phenytoin and warfarin these are the drug with narrow therapeutic margin, low safety margin. The two formula we have discussed, clearance and T half. Clearance is equal to rate of elimination divided by plasma concentration, and T half is equal to 0.693 multiplied Vt by Cl. The third concept we will discuss here, loading dose. Loading dose is important with few of the drug which have high volume of distribution, like chloroquine. Chloroquine actually has the highest volume of distribution. It will accumulate it in liver it will accumulate in retina. Its therapeutic site, desired therapeutic site is blood because it is the anti-malarial drug. We want to kill malarial parasite in blood. But when you give chloroquine initially, it will enter in tissues, liver and retina. So the less concentration is there in blood, which is the therapeutic site. So how will you achieve therapeutic concentration of chloroquine in blood? With the concept of loading dose. Initially, the chloroquine is given at the higher dose. So this higher dose is accumulated in liver and retina, so tissues are saturated with chloroquine. Now the later dose of chloroquine, when you give, this dose will remain in blood only. It will not go in tissues, it will not go in liver and retina, it will remain in blood. So malarial parasite plasmodium that is present in blood will be killed. This is the requirement of loading dose in case of chloroquine. The second reason why the loading dose is required in case of chloroquine, because chloroquine has longer plasma T half. Longer plasma T half. The drugs which are having the longer plasma T half, they take more time to achieve steady state plasma concentration in blood. The drug take 4 to 5 half-life to maintain the plasma T half. So the chloroquine has the longer plasma T half, so they will take 4 or 5 times of their plasma T half to maintain the steady state plasma concentration, which is highly required to kill plasmodium parasite in blood. So this is the concept why the loading dose is required in chloroquine. Loading dose can be calculated as desired plasma concentration multiplied by volume of distribution. Apart from chloroquine, lignocaine is also given as loading dose. Lignocaine, when has to be given in case of arrhythmia, it is a medical emergency, and in this case when the lignocaine is given, it is sequestered, it enters in tissues, which is not desirable in medical emergency case, because you want the drug in blood from which it enter in the target tissues. So first you give the lignocaine at the high dose, so it will saturate the tissue. Then you will give the maintenance dose of lignocaine so that it can show its therapeutic effect. There is one more concept of therapeutic drug monitoring. What is that? Through the process of therapeutic drug monitoring with the specialized instrument like HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, we measure the plasma concentration of drug. Through the process of therapeutic drug monitoring, we measure plasma concentration of drug. Why it is required? Why it is required? As we have discussed, phenytoin is the drug with narrow therapeutic margin. If the concentration of phenytoin increases, exceed a little bit, it will cause toxicity, which cannot be seen easily. So you need therapeutic drug monitoring with phenytoin. Antiarrhythmic drug and lithium also require therapeutic drug monitoring. Few of the drug have high individual variation like antidepressant drug. That means the dose of antidepressant drug which is sufficient enough to treat depression in one patient will not be sufficient for another patient because of high inter-individual variation. They will also require therapeutic drug monitoring. But few of the drug like antihypertensive drug, anti-diabetic drug, they will not require therapeutic drug monitoring. Why? Because their effect we can measure clinically. We can measure with other method easily. We will not require to measure the drug concentration. For example, for how will you measure the efficacy of anti-diabetic drug? We can measure the plasma concentration of glucose. So we can measure the plasma concentration of glucose, so we can judge how the anti-diabetic drug is effective. We do not need to measure drug concentration in plasma. We can measure plasma concentration of glucose. Similarly, we can measure the blood pressure with BP instrument. So we can come to know the antihypertensive drug is sufficient efficacious or not. We do not need the measure the plasma concentration of antihypertensive drug. So the drug which effect we can measure clinically, we can measure with the easily available instrument. We do not need therapeutic drug monitoring. Now, how can we prolong the drug action? Drug action can be prolonged by prolonging absorption, by prolonging plasma protein binding, metabolism, or excretion. That has been discussed in previous sections at respective places. One more concept we will discuss: fixed drug combination. It is a combination of two different drugs in a single pharmaceutical formulation in a fixed ratio. One drug is there, co-trimoxazole. Co means together, tri denotes for trimethoprim, and oxazole is for sulfamethoxazole. So co-trimoxazole is a drug having two drugs in a fixed combination, fixed ratio, that is trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. So this is fixed dose drug combination. So this complete the excretion as well as pharmacokinetic.